Thank you, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the past and the present bringing together the tone of Swagatam. The past students who are today our pride, my colleague, and of course the present students presented the song before you. Continuing with the formal session, may I invite on stage our principal man, Dr. R. Bhattacharjee, for the formal welcome address.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to young birds who have come from far to join in this program on 17th Science Seminar, which is a part of our centenary celebration. In this connection, I want to welcome our judges, Professor Louis Pindrup, former physics HOD in Letikin College, Professor Shujit Nandi Majumdar, former HOD St. Edmund's College, present teacher Associate Professor Dr. Arnav Manji from NEHU. I welcome you all for this function. I welcome all the teachers who have escorted their students for this function. Also, I welcome our teachers, students, staff who have made this program till now. Whatever it is done, I welcome everyone for your hard work. With this, I conclude my words. I once again best of luck all the candidates, including our students also. Have a wonderful session now. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Ma'am. So, the moment of reckoning has arrived. The science seminar today has been divided into two groups. At the outset, we'll have the juniors, and which will be followed by the science seminar of the seniors, that is of the higher secondary. But before that, I would like to invite on stage Mrs. Sanchita Chakravarti, Assistant Lecturer, Department of Physics of our school, and of course, co-convener of the Science Subcommittee, for reading out the rules. So, my dear candidates, please be all the final one. Thank you. Thank you, Ma'am Sanchita. So, to set the ball rolling into the world of science and wishing the very best to all the participants, we start the science seminar of the junior group with the first participant, who is from Lukparing Vidyapith Secondary School, Ankita Das, to be assisted by Shubho Ghosh.
Hello. 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 Hello, check. Hello. Hello. Hello, check.
Its visibility. The alcohol blended petrol program was launched in 2003 with an aim to promote the use of renewable and environment-friendly fuels and reduce India's import dependency on energy security. This program is implemented in accordance with the National Policy on Biofuels. Under this program, the oil marketing companies will procure ethanol from domestic sources at prices fixed by the government. An ethanol blend is defined as a blended motor fuel containing ethyl alcohol which is at least 99% pure, containing ethyl alcohol derived from agricultural products and exclusively blended with petrol. Next slide. In this slide, we can see the manufacturing of EBP. Ethanol is mainly derived from sugarcane. First, the sugarcane crops are grown and it is sent for a fermentation process. Then an ethanol is produced. Then the ethanol is blended with petrol and transported to the fuel station. Next slide. In this slide, we talk about the advantages and disadvantages of ethanol. First, let's talk about the advantages of ethanol. Since ethanol is high in oxygen content, it therefore allows the engine to combust fuel more thoroughly. It therefore reduces vehicular emissions. Ethanol does not contain significant amount of toxic substances like lead and benzene. Mixing 20% ethanol in petrol can potentially reduce the auto fuel import bill by yearly 4 billion or 30,000 crore. Ethanol also helps to reduce global warming and hydrocarbon emissions are also reduced as compared to unblended petrol. But the ethanol blending also ethanol is difficult to vaporize, which makes starting absorb water, and it is also flammable, so importing it from one country to another may be dangerous. The prices of ethanol and sugarcane are both fixed by government, leading to concerns among investors regarding the price of bioethanol. In this slide, we see the feasibility of ethanol blending. The ethanol blending faces several challenges also. There is the issue of diverting food grains from human consumption to the production of ethanol, where hunger and malnutrition are still problems faced by many in the country. The vehicles also have to be modified and designed for higher ethanol blends. The vehicles which are being made today in the country are exclusively for E5 fuels. Ethanol is not equally available in the country. Ethanol is only produced in those states where sugarcane are produced, so the other states have to import ethanol from those states. Out of the 100%, only 57.6% they were able to supply. There is the issue of mileage. As compared to petroleum-based gasoline, ethanol is less effective. In this graph, we can see the supply of ethanol in different years. We can see that from 2013 to 14, the supply of ethanol has increased till it reached 2020 to 19 to 20. I hope you could understood my brief explanation on EBP and enjoyed my deliberation as I enjoyed delivering it. Thank you.
You have mentioned about the production of ethanol on the sugarcane. We know that sugarcane grows in the temperate region, and the cultivation of sugarcane is not transferred in all the countries across. So obviously there will be some imbalance in the distribution of health. But in the world, the largest production of alcohol is being done from the petroleum byproduct. So in this case, this ethanol cannot be a suitable replacement of the fuel efficiency. Because in European countries and in the American countries, industrially, ethanol is being produced from ethene, which you get it from the petroleum gas. So, people were thinking somehow to reduce the carbon emission. But I do not know how to do it. When you give your presentation is nice. So, can you give me some idea about better supply of ethanol?
Apart from sugarcane, other crops like bajra, maize, rice can be used for producing ethanol. And the government, to make ethanol feasible, the government also has to lower the price of ethanol than the normal petroleum. And they also have to design the vehicles for higher ethanol blends.
Your presentation is nice, but I would like to know from you the negative effect of this ethanol blended petrol when used in the vehicle.
Ethanol reduces the emissions, but in US in 13 years the emission was more. It also affects environment because the ethanol falls in the red category.
Any possibility for our vehicle to get damaged if this ethanol blended petrol is used?
Yes, because ethanol is corrosive because it has the ability to absorb water. So if a vehicle it gets damaged when it is not used for long term.
Ethanol is not corrosive, it is hygroscopic. Ethanol absorbs water. Any substance which absorbs water, we call them hygroscopic. Ethanol is not corrosive. Otherwise, people would have died by drinking alcohol. See, yeah. Whenever the concept of using ethanol along with petrol started a long time back, not in 1985. Because ethanol and petrol is being made in presence of benzene. Benzene is the co-solvent which tries to bring both the substances together and make a homogeneous substance. And that alcohol was known as power. Okay? But to that extent of carbon emission cannot be reduced. Slight decrease in the carbon emission.
Nikita, the presentation was very nice. I am not a person from chemistry, I don't have much idea. But what can be improved on this presentation? You could have given some statistics. That means how much beneficial, how much pollution can be reduced, and along with that, whatever disadvantages you have pointed out, you could have given some statistics. So anyway, it is a nice presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ankita. Moving on to the second participant, may I call on stage Pooja Thapa from Queenie Secondary School to be assisted by Pratik Kumar Raja.
secondary তো এখন শুরু করে দাও নাকি খারাপ হয়ে You can go a little bit back. Yeah, this is this.
Good morning everyone, my name is Pooja from class 10. I am representing Queenie Secondary School. Assisting me today is my friend Pratik Kumar Rajan. And today I am going to talk about alcohol blended petrol and its feasibility. Starting off with introduction, we have alcohol, which is also called ethanol, is a biofuel produced by processing organic matter. It is mainly obtained from sugarcane and other sources like rice, husk or maize. India will start supplying petrol with 20% ethanol and will ramp up supplies thereafter. Now let us understand what is ethanol blending. It is a mixture of ethanol with petrol. Ethanol can be mixed with fuel in different quantities and this mixture is called ethanol fuel. Currently 10% of petrol that powers our vehicle is ethanol. India aims to increase this by 20% by 2023. Advantages. Compared to petrol, ethanol is cheaper. Because of its possible bio-origin, this is an organic method. It reduces the occurrence of environmental pollution. Ethanol molecule contain oxygen that allows the engine to more completely combust, reducing environmental pollution. It reduces dependence on crude oil import. It reduces dependence on imported petrol as less petrol is going into vehicles with ethanol being mixed in them. It helps the farmers to increase their income. It also helps the farmers to increase their income by grow produce that helps in ethanol production and this will also help to uplift country's economy. Ethanol has a higher octane rating that reduces knocking tendency of the engine. So, when petrol is mixed with ethanol, it reduces the knocking tendency of the engine. Now let us look at the disadvantages. It requires large piece of land. For ethanol to meet the growing demand, it must be produced on a large scale and hence it requires a large piece of land. Ethanol has a high affinity for water that may cause engine problems. Ethanol has a high affinity for water which may cause small and big problems in the engine of the vehicles. It creates challenges for the industries. Durability studies on engine and trial fields must be conducted before introducing E20 compliant vehicles. It increases risk factor due to high flammability of ethanol. Ethanol being a highly flammable liquid, it has high risk factor associated with it. It requires massive quantity of water. Massive quantity of water is required for ethanol production, which can lead to water scarcity. So we see that although blending ethanol locally produced can help India strengthen its energy security, and so to make ethanol blended petrol feasible in India, we must make sure that the following requirements are met. Availability of large arable land, rising production of food grains and sugarcane leading to surpluses, availability of technology to produce ethanol from plant-based sources, feasibility of making vehicles compliant to ethanol blended petrol, ensuring that no water crisis is created, especially when there is less water in our country. This blending is also being done in other countries, such as Brazil, China, and US. As a developing country, Brazil has a large production, has reached the target of 27% in 2021. Of course, we have several hurdles to cross before achieving the ideal ethanol complex in India, but so all the stakeholders can work together on this problem and we can overcome it. Thank you.
Ms. Pooja, you have given a lot of information. But when you come for such type of seminar, the contents and slides are for the audiences. And you are not supposed to look at the slide center. Slides are the supplement to your words and voices. So in future, when you use slides, you can ask your friend to put on the slides and you go on speaking. Slides are given for the audiences because your words they may not understand your words, so looking at these words they will be sick. So avoid this thing in future. Okay? If any graphs are being given and statistics are being put, in that case, looking at the slides, you are supposed to execute. Okay. So, but your content are more informative. And throughout the world, people are thinking somehow to reduce the cost and the non-availability of the petroleum resources, especially in our country. We almost have to import around 80 to 85% of our fuel resources from other countries. And India being the largest producer of ethanol from sugar cane in the world. So that way, it is advisable for our country to go for this ethanol fuel. But thing is that that's because we are dropped. So whatever the modification is required for the present automobile to use, we cannot afford to do it. And most of us are not in a position to buy the newer version of the car. So in this case, this also should have been discussed in your demerits. Alright? Now the question is, why does petrol produces huge amount of carbon dioxide and other gaseous pollutants. Do you know what are the gaseous pollutants created when petrol is being burned?
Sir,
Purification system adopted in our car in the form of Euro 1, Euro 2, Bharat 1, Bharat 2. It has been introduced to supply more amount of oxygen while in the process of burning. So that is the reason for which because I want to tell you, see, if you go for the hydrocarbon fuel from C1 to C4 means C1 to C4 means methane, ethane, propane, butane, isopropane, and isobutane. These are gaseous substances. From pentane up to nonane, they contain 5 to 9 carbon atoms. So whenever you burn petrol, if you burn pentane, it is going to, which molecule is going to produce 5 molecules of carbon dioxide. So burning of petrol produces a huge amount of carbon dioxide. You also have mentioned here the octane. Do you know the meaning of octane?
octane number is the percentage of isooctane in the mixture of isooctane and heptane.
Yeah, very good. So why do you have to go for higher octane number? Okay, no problem. Let the seminar be over, then I'll explain.
Your presentation, your slide, were very, very good. But I would like to come straight to the point. You have mentioned that the ethanol can be produced by sugar cane. And then you have also mentioned by rice, wheat, etc. May I know from you how much will be the amount of these organic matters required to produce 1 liter of alcohol, 1 liter of ethanol?
Sorry, sir.
Okay, apart from that, you know that ethanol has the property to absorb water. So when it absorbs water, so there will be accumulation of water in the vehicle which is using that ethanol blended petrol. Will it damage the engine of the vehicle?
Yes, it can cause engine burns and pollution.
So if it can damage the engine of the vehicle, then why do we go for such a method?
Because petroleum is only petroleum, if we use it, is very costly. If you can mix with ethanol, it will be less, the cost will be less.
Yet lesser cost will be at the cost again of the damage of the vehicle. Shall we adopt that process so that the vehicle can be damaged by using such fuel?
Everything has an advantage and disadvantage. So if we use petrol also, we have advantage and disadvantage. If we use ethanol also, we have the same. So something we have to use.
As far as advantage is concerned, is it more efficient or much better to use pure petrol than the ethanol blended petrol?
I think so ethanol because it produces oxygen, which is nice, and petrol then it gives out carbon dioxide. So I think.
Yeah. Really, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello. Pooja, I think slides are nice, but one thing already Sir has pointed out, whenever you try to give some presentation, never read out from the slides. It will be just for, the viewers or spectators who are seeing. Another thing just I want to mention, how much ethanol is blended in petrol in India?
10%.
10%. Okay, apart from India, any other countries are there where the ethanol is already blended with petrol?
Yes, Brazil, US, China.
The-
US maybe around 20, and China also maybe around 20.
That's good. And I think already both the professors have given their valuable comments. And that will be a very interesting discussion that, what are the advantages we are getting? Because advantages, whatever you have pointed out, is the less pollution. And with the less pollution, that is also there in your slides, the disadvantages are the engines get damaged. So that comparison should have placed there. That means if engine is damaged, how much cost is involved, and if advantages are there, how much pollution is reduced, and what are the. You also told that ethanol blending also make the petrol cost effective. So how much cost effective? That things also can be indicated in the slide. So anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pooja. Our next participant is Shubhajit De, to be assisted by Medajit Asar from Laban Bengalee Boys'Higher School.
First of all, I would like to say a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Subhajit De of Laban Bengalee Boys'Higher School, and today my friend Medajit will be assisting me with the slides. I'll be speaking on the topic ethanol blended petrol and its feasibility. Today, the world is primarily dependent on fossil fuels for its energy requirements. Fossil fuels, on one hand, are non-renewable sources, and on the other hand, the extensive usage and the side effects of it causing irreparable damage to human life and health. Importing petroleum oil requires huge amount of money, especially for countries like India. To overcome such problems, one of the solutions could be ethanol blended petrol, or EBP. The process of adding ethanol in petrol is called ethanol blending. Ethanol is a biofuel which is naturally obtained by the fermentation of sugar by yeast or by petrochemical process like ethylene hydration. Whereas petrol is obtained by the fractional distillation of crude petroleum oil. EBP is manufactured in biorefineries by blending a calculated amount of ethanol in petrol in presence of biosurfactants of low molecular mass to maintain its homogeneity. Since ethanol contains oxygen, it helps in almost complete combustion of the fuel and hence increases the efficiency of the engine. As you can see here, the reaction involved in the combustion of petrol. Now coming back to the topic, addition of ethanol in petrol increases the octane number of the fuel and thus reducing carbon dioxide emission by 30%. It minimizes the usage of the pollutant and anti-knocking agents like tetraethylene. As you can see in the comparison table between petrol and EBP, thus serving as a great cleaning agent for car engines. At present, about 5 to 10% of ethanol is being blended with petrol, which does not require a major modification of the engine that uses petrol to generate energy. Percentage of the ethanol can be increased by designing flexible engines that support flex fuel. Brazil was the first country to produce flex fuel, and the first flex motorcycle was launched by Honda in Sweden. On using EBP, the cost of the petrol is expected to come down, which will ultimately result in the reduction of the inflation significantly. Till date, India has achieved 9.45% of ethanol blending and aims to achieve 20% of ethanol blending by 2025. As you can see in the slide, the process of ethanol blending in India, it can be sugarcane, wheat, maize, or from fruit and vegetable materials if these are produced in surplus quantities. Now, coming to the production of ethanol in India, it is estimated that per year 500 crore liters of ethanol has to be produced, which will generate employment and will give a great boost to the farming sector of India, as ethanol can be made from sugarcane, rice, wheat, maize, etc. And as earlier I've said that waste materials of plants and vegetables will be of great use if they are produced in surplus quantities. The country's first biorefinery, that is Assam Biorefinery, will be one of the first refineries in the world to create bioethanol from bamboo. And once this is achieved, we'll be able to bring into existence a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Subhajit, it is a very nice presentation. I just want to know what is the difference between blending and mixing?
Blending, so if you take the example of ethanol with petrol, blending means mixing uniformly, and mixing means like if we take a mixture of cereals in a plate, if we just scatter it, it will not mix uniformly. So blending means uniformity.
So I just want to also know, in case of blending, can I get back the original product back which is already mixed there? Can I take it out the ethanol from there and the petrol from there? And you are telling uniformity means what kind of uniformity? Because ethanol you are mixing 10% and petrol is 90%. It's not uniform.
Yes, sir, but we use biosurfactants, sir, to mix it uniformly. And if we take like from any portion of the like if you mix ethanol with if you pour ethanol into water, then it will form a tension of the surface of meeting of ethanol with petrol. And if we use biosurfactant, we'll be able to mix it uniformly. And if we take liquid, the portion from any of the part of the liquid, then it will be the same.
Okay, anyway. Okay, I just want to know that one of the slides you have, that ethanol blending process you have shown, I think, few slides back.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I have seen these slides with the other presenter also. Have you copied these things from internet?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is the thing. It is not an ethical thing. Whenever you do something, you give a credit to the person that where from you have given. So the source should be mentioned in the slide. Okay. Never ever do this mistake.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And another thing I just want to know, in the process you have done one more thing you have discussed. That is, if you mix petrol with ethanol, so there is a chance of water. You have mentioned in your slide that it is having water constraints, and you know the water damages the engine. So it is a contradictory. That is, it is not feasible then that if water is present, it will damage the engine.
That's very good.
But how in this control environment, that means if water is also present in the ethanol at the process of burning, then how you are managing? Because engine will be damaged. How they are managing these things? Do you have any idea?
Certainly not, sir.
Okay. Thank you anyway. Presentation was nice.
Thank you.
Doral, your first two slides were thanks.
Thanks, sir.
And you were the first person to mention of a biosurfactant.
Yes, sir.
Here, ethanol and petrol are not soluble in each other. Just like that, if you pour kerosene in water, kerosene floats. So ethanol and petrol, they are not soluble in each other. Then the question is that how to make it soluble or miscible. So in that case, we use biosurfactant. Surfactants because ethanol is not soluble in petrol because ethanol is polar substance and petrol is non-polar. So biosurfactant has two parts. It has a hydrocarbon part which is soluble in petrol, and the polar part is soluble in ethanol. So biosurfactant acts as a bridge between them and it induces the solubility of ethanol in petrol. The biosurfactants, whenever you burn the ethanol fuel, in that case, yes, because you can achieve up to 99 or 99.5% ethanol. 100% ethanol is called super dry ethanol. It is very difficult to do. But in the process of burning, when the ethanol comes, ethanol will come along with the water. And when a combustion of the fuel will take place, the temperature inside that ignition chamber will be so high, so the water will be evaporated. So you need not worry. Yeah. Even our skin also contains huge amount of moisture, by that way nothing happens to our body. The combustion process takes care of the 1% of it. Right? So I have a question. I've asked that previous lady also. That what is called octane?
So, octane number is the percentage of isooctane by volume in a mixture of isooctane and heptane, and it is same in the antinol property as a given sample of gas.
Now what is knocking?
So knocking, so I think the tension.
See, if you use some words which you do not know the meaning, then you are giving your teacher a tool to misunderstand. So you should have known what is the purpose of why the knocking takes place. I will not give you the answer now because I will be asking the same question to others.
First of all, your presentation was very good.
Thanks, sir.
And I've seen in the slide, you have shown that for the production of ethanol, there is addition of carbon dioxide. But in the burning of petrol, we also get carbon dioxide emission, which is a pollutant. So whether the carbon dioxide emitted in the production of ethanol, is it lesser than the amount of carbon dioxide produced while burning alcohol, while burning petrol in the engine that we are using so far?
Pardon me, sir?
The amount of carbon dioxide emitted during the preparation of ethanol, whether the amount is much lesser or higher, the amount of carbon dioxide that will be given out during the burning or during the combustion of petrol in the engine of the vehicle.
I think it will be less, sir.
It will be lesser.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
So when you are using ethanol, why the carbon dioxide should be less? Because it's also a fuel. Why should it be less?
So, because while blending, the undesirable impurities are given out in the factory zone.
See, I've already told the answer in the photo previously. When you go for petrol, whether you take isooctane or N-heptane, they have 8 or 7 carbons. In ethanol, how many carbons are there? Look at the equation. How many there?
2.
So obviously the amount of carbon dioxide will be less. So 2 molecules carbon dioxide, see the equation. Because of this, see the simple mathematics. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
After Shubhaji, the next participant is from Laban Bengalee Girls' Higher Secondary School, and that is Ethyl Paul, to be assisted by Dikshita Rajput.
Good morning, everyone. I am Ethyl from Laban Bengalee Girls' Higher Secondary School. Today I am here to talk about alcohol blended petrol and its feasibility. I am so happy I could reach here on time. You all are aware of the Shillong traffic jam, right? How can this problem be solved? If all cars stop line, and how will that happen? Simple. Let there be no petrol. As they say in Hindi, na rahega bus, na bajeti bus. Is this a solution? Is petrol the villain of the problem? No. Petrol modern way. Petrol and diesel are obtained from crude oil, which comes from deep underground. Crude oil is refined to make petrol or diesel. Petrol and diesel are used in motor bus, etc., large ships and aeroplanes. But there are also some disadvantages of using petrol, such as it causes air and water pollution, greenhouse gas emissions and global warming, its resources are limited, extraction of oil may destroy habitats, and it causes ozone layer depletion. Hence, scientists were looking for a compound which could be used as an additive to petrol in order to increase its efficiency. Methyl, ethyl, and butyl alcohol are used as additives in petrol. Now, let us try to understand what is ethyl alcohol or ethanol, as it is more commonly in use. Ethyl alcohol or ethanol, having chemical formula of C2H5OH, can be produced from sugarcane, rice, wheat, maize, etc., which are having high starch content. In India, ethanol is mainly produced from sugarcane by the process of fermentation. In ethanol blending, a blended motor fuel containing ethyl alcohol derived from agricultural products is blended with petrol specifically. Now let us understand the usefulness of ethanol blended petrol. Its fuel economy and performance. If the cars were optimized to run on higher ethanol plants, fuel economy would likely increase as a result of increased engine efficiency. Ethanol also has a higher octane number than gasoline, which provides increased power and performance. Since ethanol contains oxygen, it helps in complete combustion of the fuel, reduces carbon emissions, and makes it a much better fuel for the environment. Some more advantages of using ethanol blended petrol are: ethanol fuel is cost effective compared to other biofuels. It is ecologically effective. Ethanol blended petrol reduces global warming. It is easily accessible. It minimizes dependence on fossil fuels. Opens up untapped agricultural sector. Ethanol fuel is a source of hydrogen. It contributes to creation of employment in the country. It helps in the increase of fuel economy, and lastly, it minimizes air pollution. Now, the government of India took multiple interventions such as reintroduction of administered price mechanism, opens up untapped agricultural sector, and reduction in goods and service tax. Now, we have challenges in achieving 20% ethanol blending in India. Less production. Currently, domestic production of bioethanol is not sufficient to meet the increased demand for for blending with petrol at Indian oil market companies. Interstate movement of ethanol. This central government amended the Industries Development and Regulations Act to ensure smooth implementation and transport of ethanol across the country. But only 14 states have implemented the amended provisions. As a result, states that produce ethanol more than the requirement cannot transport the ethanol to other states. Non-uniform availability. Ethanol is not produced or available in some states for ethanol blending. About 50% of total pump nozzles in India are supplying only E10. This is especially in large fuel pumps in northeast states. Now, I would like to conclude that ethanol blended petrol. Now I will conclude my presentation by saying that ethanol blended petrol is a step towards achieving zero carbon footprint.
Prithal, the presentation is nice, but it could have been improved, okay? So, I just want to ask you, from your slide you have written that ethanol blended petrol can reduce global warming. So, how?
Since ethanol is not, contains, it is made of natural products, so it will reduce pollution. Petrol emits large amount of carbon dioxide and other harmful gases, and if we use ethanol, then the amount of pollution will be less, and hence it can reduce global warming.
What are the gases which is produced by the ethanol blended petrol? Do you have idea? Okay, fine, that's fine. So the first statement we have made, ethanol fuel is cost effective. So can you justify why it is cost effective?
Since ethanol is made of natural products, we know India is an agricultural country, and ethanol can also be made from the waste of vegetables and fruits. Hence, it will not be that costly.
Okay, so there also cost is involved. So what way it will be cost effective? And do you know how much percentage of fuel is imported from other countries in India? Okay. It is because of that, because we import the fuel from others, right? Okay. Anyway, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Please, I can ask you how we just become cost effective. Say, you want to buy something from the market. So, the advertisement comes in, and then you get that buy one, get one free. Which one will you go for it? Buy one, get one free, or only one? Buy one, get one. So, ethanol is a byproduct of sugar milk. Whether we use ethanol for petrol or not, we require sugar throughout the world. In our country, sugar is being produced from sugarcane juice. After the crystallization of sugar from the sugarcane juice, the liquid which is left behind, which we call it filtrate, it still contains 50% sugar. But we cannot consume that one because it's a very dark, thick, syrupy liquid. So if you do not use it, you will throw it. So that sugarcane juice left after filtrate, left as filtrate, is being named as molasses. So molasses, from molasses only we make ethanol. Because of that we call it cost effective. Otherwise you have to throw it. In your house you will find your mother sometimes cooks some curry from the peel of the vegetable. Otherwise you have to throw it. Because of that we call it cost effective. Okay? I have no question to ask.
If you use the ethanol blended petrol in the vehicle, will there be any damage on the engine of the vehicle? Because ethanol blended petrol contains water. Because of the absorption of water by the ethanol. Whether that water will cause any damage to the engine?
No, sir. Because since ethanol is left is, since ethanol is oil, it will float on petrol. It will be evaporated.
In addition to that, in the preparation of ethanol, there is emission of carbon dioxide. It will cause pollution. But in the combustion of ethanol blended petrol, whether there is any production of carbon dioxide or not. There will be no production of carbon dioxide. But what are the gases produced in the combustion of ethanol blended petrol? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Peter. So after Peter, we have from St. Edmund's School, we have Ruben H. Degdo, and to be assisted by Fetty Marak Mukin.
Mouse click.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ruben Degdo, and I'm assisted by Fetty Mark. And today I'm talking about the of petroleum and space energy. So let's get started. I'll talk about ethanol. Now, ethanol is made up of plant materials such as corn, and then we have sugar cane, and all the citrus solutions and the bioproducts. And then with the presence of oxygen, it can burn with low emission, which that's why we use it with the help of petroleum. Its chemical formula is C2H5OH. Ethanol is not only used as in the gasoline industry, it is also used for making drugs and then polishes, and it's even used for alcohol as well. Let's talk about petroleum. Now, petroleum is a black, yellowish liquid which produces hydrocarbon, and then those hydrocarbons are made up of dead organisms which form fossil fuels underneath sedimentary rocks. These sedimentary rocks are then mined to produce these other fuel products. Now let's talk about the advantage and disadvantage of blending alcohol and petroleum. Now the advantages are, it's a renewable fuel. It is produced from biomass, which we can reuse it from organic substances. And the disadvantage is, since it contains less energy, so the mass as compared to when we use only petroleum. And since it is highly attractive to water, so we won't get pure ethanol. Overall, I would like to conclude that ethanol is a good step for a more clean and a brighter future. But I guess we still need a more clean and a safer energy. Thank you.
very nice and short presentation, but yeah, you could have put some more information. Okay. So what is your final conclusion? That is, whether it is feasible for going for this? Because several advantages and disadvantages you have also highlighted.
I would like to say that, we can't say that this is the only good source of energy. I guess we still need to search for more better and clean energy. As leaders, there will come a time when petroleum will not even there will be no petroleum. So I guess we still need to search.
So I just want to ask you that there are several alternatives for green energy. When I say green energy, it consists of battery vehicle also. And compared to battery vehicle, why don't we say that battery vehicles are more advantageous or this one is more advantageous? What do you feel? That the future is electric vehicle or this one?
I would still stick to electrical vehicles unless you know how to decompose the battery once.
No, there are several arguments on this. See, in case of battery vehicles, I think obviously it is more greener, but you know that there is always a cost involved. Here the cost involved may be lesser. Okay, so that's why it's a little bit feasible sides. However, several disadvantages may be also there. Okay, so that is the thing, and another thing is that. Anyway, thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you, sir.
Here you have mentioned that the petroleum crude consists of 10 organisms. Here this is not correct. Petroleum crude is you obtain it by the decomposition of the generally it is of the fat of the animals and the aquatic life. You might have seen the distribution of the petrol is along the coast. So mostly it is found, it consists of it's made of the fat of the sea fishes and sea other aquatic life. So it is not made of any organism. Source is organic. Organism and organic substances are two different. Okay. Now, about the use of ethanol in petrol, much of research has been conducted and it is being globally applied in different countries. Some countries do not adopt because they do not have a clear source of obtaining. Whatever the information that you have gathered, I think we should have taken a little more time to gather more. So, but as because in future you will be driving, I would suggest that please read some more information so that it is going to help. Everything is not done for presentation and prizes. Something should be done for our own benefit. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Your presentation was very nice. I would like to point out a few of my observations on the advantages and disadvantages of ethanol blended petrol. According to your slide, ethanol blended petrol has some disadvantages as it produces less energy. If it produces less energy, then why should we consider that kind of fuel instead of the ordinary, or instead of using the normal petrol, which is producing more energy?
So it depends now on the emission which is caused since petroleum in its it uses a lot of pollution. But ethanol since reduces that pollution. So we need to
Okay, apart from that, there is the degree of pollution caused by the normal petrol and the ethanol blended petrol. The ethanol blended petrol, whether it produces any pollution or not to the environment.
Yes, but I guess it will be lesser than petrol.
Because in this, in the contribution to the pollution, in the preparation for ethanol, we also get carbon dioxide. And this carbon dioxide, whether is produced to a certain level, is very less than the one which is produced during the combustion of ordinary petrol. Yeah, mentioned that there is a pollution by burning the petrol. So that due to the emission of this carbon dioxide gas. So that emission that took place in the burning of ordinary petrol, whether it is lesser than or more than the amount of carbon dioxide produced during the preparation of ethanol.
So I guess it will be lesser.
Be lesser. The production of ethanol will produce more carbon dioxide. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
That was Ruben from St. Edmund's School. Our next participant is Sunita Karsopal from Laban Bengalee Girls Higher Secondary School, to be assisted by Diana Bola.
Good evening. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, dear judges, students, and my dear friends. Today I'm here to present the science seminar. My name is Sunita Karsopal. I study in class 10. I'm assisted along with my friend Diana Wala. Today I'm here to present a science seminar on alcohol blended petrol. Alcohol blended petrol refers to a biofuel that contains ethyl alcohol. Ethyl alcohol or ethanol is produced by the processing of organic matter, for example, sugarcane, potato, sweet potato, maize, etc. At a time when fuel prices spiked, virtually concern over overuse of fuels has become widespread. Mixing of ethanol in auto fuel has become the need, as it is a result of saving and protecting against climate change. Next slide, please. Ethanol. The chemical formula of ethanol is C2H5OH. Ethanol closely resembles the petrol. Ethanol contains oxygen, which reduces engine stalling. United States of America produced 62.2% of ethanol. In Brazil produced 26% of ethanol. Please. Here are the advantages and feasibility in India. Ethanol is a renewable and clean burning fuel. It can be blended with B2, that is 2% of biodiesel and 98% of petroleum diesel, and B5, that is 95% of biodiesel and 5% of petroleum diesel. Feasibility in India currently ethanol makes up 10% of the petrol we use in our vehicles. The other fuel that we use commonly is derived from the slow geological process of phosphation. India has implemented EBP program throughout the country. This target is to raise the ratio of 20% by the 2030. Next slide, please. Advantages. Ethanol is cheaper when compared. It requires a large piece of land for the growing of the crops to obtain ethanol. The distillation process is not good for the environment as it involves a heat expenditure. As vaporization is difficult, so in cold weather it is difficult for a vehicle to start. Ethanol is corrosive in nature. Natural rubber that dissolves in ethanol. So prevent the loss, we should use high quality of rubber in a part of the engine. So I end my presentation with thank you.
So thank you. Okay. Then if you can just move to the front slide. Please move on to the front slide. And whenever you can. Okay.
Assisted by Anurag Kumar Sharma.
Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. My name is Mohan Das and I am representing Shillong Boys'Higher School. Today I am here to present a project on the topic alcohol blended petrol and its feasibility. Including increasing fuel prices have forced various developed as well as developing nations to devise plans and policies to derive the organic and sustainable alternative against the fossil fuel. In India, government has been planning to reduce 50% dependency on the fossil fuels by the year 2030. Since ethanol is a organic and renewable natural resource, Since ethanol is an organic and renewable resource, it does not harm the environment very much like the other fossil fuels which are not blended with it. The usage of fossil fuels causes large amount of air pollution and produces a large number of harmful gases such as carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, etc., which go up into the atmosphere and form chlorofluorocarbons, which destroy the ozone layer, which shields the earth from harmful ultraviolet rays generated from the sun. The usage of, if you use ethanol blended petrol, then it will help the country economically by not wasting money in importing petrol from foreign countries, which will cost almost $4 billion per annum. Now the question arises, why we have chosen ethanol to be blended with petrol? Since ethanol is a renewable resource, it does not pollute the environment, and it is much more cheaper than the actual fossil fuels. Not only we need ethanol blended petrol to save the environment, we also need suitable vehicles to utilize this big project. If India gains success in fulfilling this huge aim, then our country will be able to attain a sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, one of those. I think you should come up with some more information in the slide. And maybe it is your first presentation and you are a little bit nervous. Whenever you are on the stage, remember one thing, that whenever you will be there on the stage, always try to think that I am the only person who knows everything, other person doesn't know. That gives you the confidence, okay? So anyway, we could have put some more information in the slide, which could have been really beneficial. Okay. So my questions, only one question I want to ask from you, that this ethanol reduces pollution. Many of you, including you, also made the statement. So what way it reduces the pollution?
So if you use ethanol with petrol, then it will reduce the production of harmful gases, which will not go up into the atmosphere and cause depletion of the ozone layer.
So what kind of harmful gases? Can you name that which gases it produce?
So gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide.
So if you blend ethanol, it will reduce carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide only?
Yes.
Why you think so? Is there any reason for it? Okay, anyway, thank you very much. Please wait. Don't go.
Okay, the topic we have presented ethanol blended petrol. And petrol we blended with methanol. This is a question to you.
So I think yes, because both ethanol and methanol are
Then why have we selected ethanol than methanol?
So because we can produce ethanol from various organic resources such as agricultural waste.
I believe methanol also can be produced in the same way. Okay.
See, when you are on the stage, as Anand mentioned, don't get scared. Okay? But in future, if you go for any seminar, do little practice in front of your friends. And at home, you speak it out in front of mirror. It is going to drive away your fear and you will be fluent. Right? Now, Sat has mentioned that when ethanol can be blended, methanol also should be, can it be blended? Your answer was yes. Yes, you are correct. Methanol also can be blended. But methanol is generally difficult to prepare from the natural resources we have around. Initially, methanol was being produced from the wooden chips. We cut the tree into small pieces and we used to get it. The name methanol is being derived from a Latin word called metha-heu. Metha means wood. Heus means wood extract. But this is, we have also destroyed the whole forest, and if you again destroy the forest for the manufacture of methanol, then the world will not have any trees at all. So methanol is being prepared synthetically in the industry. And in that case, when you make it synthetically, it will not be cost effective, and moreover, it will not be, we cannot consider it to be a renewable source of energy. Second thing is that methanol is found to be extremely toxic. Inhalation of methanol can affect our central nervous system. So, some amount of ethanol can be added, but it should not be very high. So, we find ethanol is cheaper source and it is renewable, so ethanol is being produced. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Malbush Mohandas. Second last participant of the junior section is Alicia B. Socklet from St. Mary's Higher Secondary School, and I guess she'll be her own assistant.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alicia B. Socklet, and I am here to speak on the topic alcohol blended petrol and its feasibility. I will start by giving the definition of ethanol, petrol, and the meaning of feasibility. Ethanol is an organic chemical compound produced by biomass. What is biomass? Biomass is organic, which means that it is made of materials that comes from living organisms such as plants and animals. Petrol is a light fuel oil that is obtained by distilling petroleum and is used in 5. India has achieved 10% of ethanol blended petrol. The Prime Minister wants to achieve 20% of ethanol blended petrol, as it has many advantages to the environment as well as to the economy of the world. It can reduce the quantity of petrol required to run a vehicle, thus reducing the dependency on imported costly crude. Today, India has 1,000 crore rupees. India's expenditure on all imports can reduce. It depends on the different countries it is associated with. The price will be different as compared to if it's associated with Russia. A liter of ethanol is currently priced at 62.65 rupees as compared to a liter of petrol for nearly 100 rupees. This means ethanol blended petrol reduces the fuel cost of consuming advantages, mixing ethanol with petrol has many advantages to the environment as well. As ethanol is produced from the plants that is harnessed from the power of the sun, it is considered as a renewable fuel, meaning when it gets depleted, it can be regained back as it is produced from the natural resources. Ethanol produced from the natural resources is considered globally as a prominent and possible constituent of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels is a natural fuel such as coal or gas which is obtained over time from the decomposition of living beings. The government launched the ethanol blended petrol in January 2003 to promote the use of alternative and environment-friendly fuels and to reduce import dependency for energy requirements. Mixing ethanol with petrol can reduce the consumption of fossil fuels, which we can see that the presence of fossil fuels in the world is rapidly decreasing, thus creating various health hazards to the environment as well as to the people. When ethanol is added to petrol, the carbon dioxide emission from automobiles reduces by 30% and hence pollution decreases. In conclusion, I would like to say that mixing ethanol with petrol has many advantages to the environment as well as to the economy of the world. With this, I conclude my speech. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
Anyway, your presentation was very nice. You have told about only the advantages. Can you highlight some of the disadvantages?
Yes. The disadvantages of mixing ethanol with petrol is that it can damage the vehicle's engine. That is, it can damage the fuel intake components of one's vehicle. It can also damage the vehicle's fuel intake components. In addition, it can damage the fuel pump. It also requires a large piece of land for its cultivation. It also has a lot of, it requires a lot of affinity for water, which means that it absorbs a lot of water.
So what is your final argument? If you are telling that it damages the engine, so that is a very serious thing. So what is your final conclusion? Is it feasible to use this or you should not use it?
To see that it has also disadvantages, I would like to say advantages overpower disadvantages. So it has more advantages than if we see the disadvantages, we can overcome these problems in the future years.
Do you think that in Ceylon this ethanol-based petrols are available?
I beg your pardon?
In Meghalaya, ethanol mixed petrol are available, ethanol blended.
Right now, I have not seen any vehicle which use ethanol blended petrol.
Then in which states is available? In nearby states is using?
Most of the states which we can see ethanol blended petrol is in the major states such as Maharashtra, Chennai, and other states as well.
In Northeast is available?
We can see that it is seen in mostly Assam.
Is available in Assam. So why not go for directly 20%? What is the roadblock? You told only 19% is there and Prime Minister wants to 20%. So what is the roadblock?
It takes time for mixing ethanol with petrol. It is slowly increasing. From 5% it increased to 10%, and it takes a few years to take up to 20%. It cannot just take a jump from 10% to 20%.
Why? I can put instead of 10%, 20%. It will take some time.
It is because that it can create various problems if we just take from 10% to 20%. It requires little amount so that it can increase in future years.
What kind of problem you can face?
It can also people not know what problems will it create to the vehicle. So if we take quantities of ethanol, we will be able to solve the problem quickly rather than just taking it from 10 to 20%.
So what is the difference between mixing and blending? Can you highlight on it?
Blending it, when we blend, it becomes in one amount, it becomes one. when we mix, there are some components which are still present in it.
Okay, anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, your presentation was good, but I would like to know from you regarding the limitation of blending. As I mentioned just now, the maximum blending that we are going through India is 20%. So what is the limit of blending? Can we make 80%, 80% blending?
Most of the cars in US has 98% of ethanol, but in India it takes time, and also like it has various problems if we just use ethanol with it. It is dry, and so it can create problems.
It means that we can go up to 50%, 80% or so.
Yes, we can go to 50% to 80% as well.
Thus, this increase in the blending of ethanol, that if it does so, then this is a negative effect. Then why should we go for it?
As I've said before, like the advantages overpower disadvantage, and that is one thing that why the government wants to take it slowly. It can solve the problems little by little instead of just going from 10 to 20%.
Okay, now.
Alicia, first of all, I will tell you that you are a courageous girl.
Thank you, sir.
Because what the questions you are being asked, are you giving the reply knowingly or you are just telling by guess?
Some of the questions I am taking a guess, and some of the questions I know.
Yes, that is a very good thing because you have the courage to face it.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, mixing and blending two words are same.
Yes, sir.
If someone asks you how are you, you say I am fine, you can say I am good. Words are different, meaning is same. Now, when the question of increasing of blending, the calorific value of the petroleum is higher than that of ethanol. You can run your vehicle on 100% ethanol because it is a fuel. Okay? But suppose you are being given a work to do, and you have taken your youngest sister to help you. So in that case, you will do the maximum work. Younger will do less. But if you expect that younger should do more work and you should do less, in that case what will happen? The time taken will be more. Okay? The efficiency of the work also will go down. So because of that, we do not use more ethanol in the vehicles because of the lesser calorific value. About the water content. Alcohol is infinitely soluble in water. Okay? So, even if you add more, suppose you add 90% water in 10% ethanol, water and ethanol, they do not separate from each other. They remain. But in that case, what will happen? If the water content is more, water cannot be used as a fuel. So in that case, only 10% ethanol will burn, 90% water will not burn. And if the water is more, ignition will be stopped. So because of that, ethanol content is being kept always low. Alright? If you are to cross 20 or more than 20%, in that case, you have to remodel your ignition chamber so that whatever the water will be produced, it should be directly expelled from the engine, otherwise hot water may damage your better part of it. Thank you, and you are extremely confident.
Thank you, sir.
That was Alicia from St. Mary's Higher Secondary School. With the permission of the judges, I would like to take a moment off from the seminar of the junior group since there is something which is unavoidable which has come up. We have the launching of our website which is completed in 5 minutes and we'll be back to the last participant. So with the permission of the judges, if that's allowed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a momentous occasion for all of us and Laban Bengalee Boys. We have been waiting for the launching of the website since a very long time, and what better day than today to finally launch it on the day that we have our annual science seminar and in the august presence of the President of the Managing Committee, Dr. S.K. Chattopadhyay, and of course our very own Shubir Sir, Munna Sir, whose association with Laban Bengalee Boys has indeed been legendary. Sir has been a part of the school as a student and just a gap of few years and Sir has once again joined the school, had joined the school as a teacher. He retired a few years back and we are extremely grateful that Sir could honor our wish to be here on such an occasion because we are aware of Sir's health issues. But thank you, Sir, for being here. And we are, as I said before, we are highly indebted to the President of the School Managing Committee, Dr. S.K. Chattopadhyay, for sparing his time to be in our midst. So without much ado, I call the two of them to the dais, of course, in the presence of our Principal Ma'am, Dr. R. Bhattacharjee. We have the formal launching of the school website. So please.
Just a second. না না হঠাৎ প্রজেক্টর
So you don't need to come up, it will be done for. May I request all to please give a standing ovation to our President Sir and of course our very own Shubir Sir. We have been waiting for a long time for this day and finally the day dawns on us. Please all take your seat, please.
Green is in a light, green is in a light.
ওটার থেকে পড়াই যায় এটা থেকে পড়ে যায়
ওটা খুলে দেবো
বড়টা তার পড়াটা
এখানে না হুম এটা পিকচার করা দাঁড়া দাঁড়া লোগোগুলো তো সুন্দর আসছে না এটা না হ্যাঁ দেখা যাবে না না খারাপ সবই তারপরে নেব না না করো দাঁড়া দাঁড়া কোন হচ্ছে ওটা ট্রাই করে দেবে ডিসপ্লে কেটে প্রবলেম হবে এটা পাওয়ার অন অফ স্যার নিচে উপরে উঠতে না কম্পিউটার উপরে যেতে না নিচে কোনো প্রজেক্টর ওটা কানেক্ট হ্যাঁ ওইটা দাঁড়াও 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 ইয়ার ডান স্যার আই আমি কি করবো আমি কিছু না স্যার একটা এন্টারপ্রাইজ দেখাই দিল
President sir and Shubhe sir.
করে দেবো স্যার আই ওই যে এন্টারটা প্রেস করবো
A huge day for all of us at Laban Bengalee Boys when our much needed and much dreamt of moment has arrived when the school's official website is launched.
আমি এখন আসি পরে আমি একটু সাইটটা দেখে চলে যাবো স্যার বল একটু সাইটটা দেখে যাবি পুরো ব্রাউজ করো না না ব্রাউজ করো না স্ক্রল ডাউন স্ক্রল ডাউন হোম থেকে হ্যাঁ স্ক্রল ডাউন
That is the 13th of September 2022, the inauguration of our centenary celebrations in the august presence of the Chief Justice of Meghalaya High Court, Sri Sanjeev Banerjee.
Yes, that's all. Page up. Page up. Yeah. Browse the next option. Just a second. The teaching stuff is going to show. The teaching stuff. Yeah. Browse down. I mean, scroll down. Yeah. Just quickly. Go through this quickly.
That is the Laban Bengalee Boys Higher Secondary family for you.
Down, down, down. Up, up, up. चलो start. We'll start. Miss. We'll be back to another one. Okay. Close call. Done.
So coming back to the science seminar of the junior group, with the permission of the judges, I would like to go back to the seminar. The last participant from the junior group is from Ramakrishna Mission High Secondary School, Sorna. Lanaika Renbai, to be assisted by Bala Wanwekun Singh.
Very good afternoon to you all. My name is Lanaika Renbai. Assisting me today is my friend Laban Bengalee. Today I will be speaking on the topic alcohol, blended petrol and its feasibility. India meets 80% of its crude demands to import and it has 17.84% of the total global human population and only 2.4% of the total surface area and about 30% of the total energy consumption. Hence, we can understand that India generally meets its crude demands to import and it is one of the most growing economies in the world. Therefore, it experiences a high demand of crude oil and petroleum products. Fossil fuels are traditionally used to run vehicles, but now biofuels have gained a lot of importance and significance because they are eco-friendly and also good for the economy. So in order to meet up with this, the Indian policy makers have devised ways and means in order to incorporate India's energy system with the renewable energies. So for this, the government of India have launched Ethanol blended petrol program in January 2003, which generally aims to allow the use of alternative and environmental beneficial fuels at the same time reducing the cost of import dependencies. Now let's move on to blending of alcohol. Now what is exactly blending of alcohol? Basically, blending of alcohol with petrol is called as gasohol, and alcohol is obtained from raw materials by fermenting them in factories, and after fermenting them in factories they are being purified and hence alcohol is produced. As been mentioned before, that alcohol is produced by fermentation of raw materials in factories, but however it can also be produced by petrochemical processes like ethylene hydration. So when we come back to fermentation of raw materials, these feedstocks are taken to factories, they are being fermented and purified and hence alcohol is being obtained. This alcohol is then mixed along with petrol, then it is used as a fuel to run vehicles, and basically vehicles produce a lot of amount of smoke, including carbon dioxide. But this carbon dioxide doesn't pollute the environment, it is however absorbed back by plants in the process of photosynthesis. This whole cycle is called as a biopian cycle. So what exactly is the benefit that we get from blending alcohol with petrol? Generally, it allows the engine to more completely combust the fuel, therefore reducing emission of carbon dioxide and also reducing environmental pollution, for example like air pollution, land pollution, follows. It is good for the environment because alcohol has low content of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and other harmful gases. It is good for the economy because it supports farmers, also creates domestic jobs. For example, like in the agricultural sector, cultivation of those raw materials which are used to produce alcohol. It is an antifreeze, which means it doesn't freeze even at the lowest temperature also. And it is a renewable fuel. Basically, it will be a renewable fuel because it is obtained from renewable resources itself, for example, like plants. But however, there are a few disadvantages of blending alcohol with petrol. I have listed some of them. Number one is that ethanol can absorb water. Therefore, it can lead to metal corrosion and also damage the engine which generally runs on fuel. Secondly, it is highly inflammable. Therefore, it catches fire very easily and it needs to be handled with great care and attention, which is quite difficult in daily life. Now, I would like to conclude my presentation. As I've mentioned before, that renewable energy are being considered the most prominent substitute for fossil fuels. Therefore, in order to achieve an environment which is not polluted and also to meet up with human needs, with the advancement of technology and proper investment of capital, we are able to utilize our natural resources in such a way that they do not pollute the environment but also help us to meet up with human needs. So in order to have a better, brighter, safer, greener, and much more efficient future, let us all work together, join hands, think much more wiser, how to utilize our resources in such a way that they do not pollute the environment, but however, meet up with human needs. That's all for my presentation. Thank you. Bishop.
Thank you very much. It was indeed a very nice presentation, and what I can say, the slides are very nicely designed. Okay, I was expecting this kind of presentation. The way you have designed the slides, very nice. Okay, but one more small thing I just want to mention. I think the topic name was ethanol blended petrol and accessibility. Okay, but you have just given alcohol blended petroleum and accessibility. You could have kept the same topic. Okay, which is written. Okay. Anyway, it's the related line. So apart from that, you just go back to disadvantages. The slides. Yes, just earlier one. Yes. So here you have mentioned that ethanol can absorb water, right? So what way disadvantages? Disadvantages.
Ethanol can absorb water.
Yes.
But basically, if ethanol can absorb water, and ethanol is blended with petrol so as to obtain biofuels produced from vehicles, and since it absorbs water and contains water, therefore it can lead to metal corrosion, also the engine to be damaged, which generally runs on that biofuel, which is alcohol that have been mixed with petrol.
So there must be some solutions to it. Otherwise, so if it didn't get damaged, nobody is going to use ethanol for that purpose.
Of course, sir, there is a solution to it. We can use a dehydrating agent, for example, like a silica gel, sulfuric acid, etc.
Okay. Okay. And another thing I just want to know, how the ethanol reduces the harmful gases. How ethanol reduces the harmful gases. You have mentioned somewhere that ethanol reduces the harmful gases, right?
Yes.
So how it reduces harmful gases?
Because when we mix ethanol with petrol, it reduces the harmful gases which is produced when we burn petrol. And since ethanol has a very low amount of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, hydrocarbons, etc., therefore it reduces pollution, especially reducing those harmful gases. That's why it has low content of that. So basically, it will reduce them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We are very happy that you have come all the way from Swara. Okay? We are expecting that you will be coming along with the rain, but you are let rain be come.
It is really
No, he is correct, because we are having a good support for our again. So after your seminar is over, I will take you to my house. Now, I think so far whatever the person has spoken, your one I like. Because it was your fluent expression is being supported with nice your slides. But I think you have by-hearted this content more than understanding. Yes, because when Sir has asked you a question, you are trying to reboot your memory where from the answer should start. Taken some time. And ultimately you could search your memory and you got the right. See, you have written it is highly inflammable. Where from you got this information, first of all?
I think it comes from my knowledge, sir.
Now see, petrol is more inflammable than otherwise. If it is so highly inflammable, people would not have drink ethanol. The alcohol or the beer is nothing but ethanol more. If anyone drinks, then his mouth will be fire. Did you find any person, any drunkard from where how fire is coming out? No. Because even after smoking also fire doesn't come out. So ethanol is less inflammable than petrol. About the first question, that how it is going to reduce the harmful gases, you have given the answer, but after waiting for a long time you searched your memory and found that ethanol produces less carbon dioxide. But I would say that you are the only person who told that ethanol is not associated with the pollutants like sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen. So I'm not asking any question because I'm a man from chemistry. I'm really happy by your answer.
Your presentation was nice, and if I heard correctly from whatever was mentioned by you, is understood that the ethanol that you use in blending of petrol is obtained from sugar cane. But there are also other sources of ethanol, like the wheat, then rice, why don't you use these options to produce ethanol? What are the advantages and disadvantages of these over sugar cane?
When ethanol is produced from sugarcane, it is produced as a byproduct which is cost efficient and hence it can be easily produced because it's a byproduct. But if you produce from corn, from bajra, etc., it will require many steps and it will be quite difficult and time consuming and it is not obtained as a byproduct. So that is why ethanol produced from sugarcane is highly recommended and much more beneficial than ethanol produced from corn.
But if sugarcane is used for the production of ethanol, we will need very huge piece of land for producing the raw material, and also we will require a lot of water. But this will not be so with other sources of ethanol. ethanol from wheat. We don't have to use so much water that we use in sugarcane.
I beg your pardon, sir, I don't understand.
In sugarcane, you need to drink enough water so that it can produce enough raw material for producing ethanol. But with wheat, it is not so. But why don't you take this as an advantage for producing the raw material for the ethanol?
Because when ethanol produced from wheat is not obtained as a byproduct, but ethanol obtained from sugarcane is a byproduct. So, however, if sugarcane also requires a huge amount of water, but as you said that wheat doesn't require that amount of water, but if we see towards the cost effective, it is much more beneficial that ethanol produced from sugarcane because it's obtained as a byproduct. But wheat is not obtained as a byproduct.
Okay, thank you.
Miss Lana is our guest speaker. So I should like to give the answer on behalf of Lana. Okay, you don't mind if I answer on behalf of you? Huh? Okay. See, the different sources are there for production of alcohol or ethanol. So basically it is sugar cane, and it can be produced from any substance which is made of starch. See, any substance which is made of starch. Sugar cane consists of a disaccharide known as sucrose, which when comes in contact with water, it breaks down to give us glucose and fructose. It is the glucose on fermentation gives us ethanol. Sugar cane, when you say sugar cane, actually you should be more precise. We are making ethanol from the waste of sugar plant, sugar industry. From sugar cane juice we get sugar, and the leftover liquid of the sugar industry is called molasses. From there we make ethanol by the process of fermentation. That molasses cannot be consumed by human being or animal. If you have totally evaporated the water of sugar cane juice, then we get jaggery or gur. In Kasi you can call it mithai. Now, if you want to find a substitute of bulk production of ethanol for energy purpose from cereals, then our food stock capacity of the world will come down. Because instead of using rice, wheat, barley, bajra for eating, if you use it for making ethanol, then there will be starvation there. So we never like to replace them with sugarcane juice. Of course, the alcohol which is being consumed by human being in the form of the wine or hard liquor like champagne, gin, sherry, rum, all these are being made from these cereal-based agricultural products like potato, then rice. Like in our country, we are producing the long sugar beet. So there also you get molasses. Sugar cane or industry also you get molasses. So this is the small information which I have given to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Due Lanaika Rimbai from Ramakrishna Mission Higher Secondary Sona. So with her presentation, we come to the end of the junior section. We'll be having a short tea break of 10 minutes, but before that, I would like to invite any of the judges, esteemed panel of judges, if they would like to possibly comment on the topic as a whole. Anything? So I see Professor S.N. Majumdar coming up, the former HOD Department of Chemistry, St. Andrews College.
Check. Sir, check please. No? Yeah.
I'm extremely thankful to the management of the school for inviting me here. And though I am not a student of this school, but it's almost like homecoming to the school. Most of my friends were the students of the school. And it is one of the most remarkable institutes which has produced jewels in India, northeastern part of India. When I was a student of class 9 and 10 and studying in deep inside the forest of Arunachal, I knew the name of Laban School in 1973. Okay? So you should feel yourself privileged to be a student of the institute. Institute is not just on the basis of the size of the building. It is not just on the side, the type of the furniture that is being used. Institute is judged by the teachers who teaches you. And the teachers feel extreme pride at the success of their students. So both of them are complementary to each other. Now, coming to the topic, where I had been judging in different institutes on different topics, but this is a subject is from my specialization. So obviously, I like to speak. In others topic, I cannot speak because I do not know. So here I like to clarify two things. First of all, petrol, and second thing is alcohol. We know that petrol, we get it from the petroleum crude. Petroleum crude has a source of organic source. It comes from the fat of the sea animals. Because on the analysis of petrol, people could get the RBC. Very few places petroleum has a source of the plant source. Plant source petrol is only found in the Burma region and portion of Assam, where they could isolate chlorophyll from the petroleum crude. So let us assume that petrol we got it by the submerged fishes of the sea. You see the abundance of the petroleum crude is always near this seashore. Now, after the fractional distillation of petroleum crude, we get petrol. Petrol is not an organic compound, but it's a mixture of organic compounds. It consists of C5 to C9. That is, it is a mixture of pentane, hexane, heptane, octane, monane, isooctane and isomonane. It is a mixture. Now let me, because some people were talking about this, about the knocking. See, whenever the burning of the petrol takes place inside the combustion unit, in that case, if sufficient amount of the oxygen does not reach there, an incomplete combustion of the petrol takes place, In that case, along with the carbon dioxide and water, the elemental carbon is also being released. Because of that, we find that your exhaust pipe is dark in color. It is nothing, the black powder is nothing but the carbon. When huge emission of the carbon takes place, it blocks the carbon, the exhaust pipe. And due to that, the gas accumulates inside the exhaust pipe, which comes out with a lot of force and a sound. That is called knocking. Sometimes you feel that your tire has bursted. This is called knocking. The degree of the knocking increases with the long chain hydrocarbon. If the branching of the hydrocarbon takes place, then in that case, somehow the degree is reduced. So what do you do? Because for finding the purity of any substance, there should be a scale of measurement. So they have found, if you have taken only heptane, you can use heptane, pure heptane is also a fuel. In that case, we find the knocking is more. So in rating, we give it 0, means it is not a good fuel. If we use isooctane, in that case, knocking is very less. So we give it 100 rating. So higher the octane number, better is the quality of petrol. Now, yes, because our consumption of petrol is very high, and if you go for the repeated distillation of petrol, then the amount of the petrol will decrease and the cost of the petrol will increase. So we want to use the same petrol, but knocking should be less. So we use a substance called tetraethyl lead. In short form, we call it TEL. That when you add in the petrol, the knocking decreases. And that way, the octane number increases. But by that way, we have created a hell in this world. Because petrol burns, but lead cannot be burned now. So when the tetraethyl lead burns, then the lead comes out in the form of lead dioxide and is being thrown to the atmosphere. Lead is highly toxic substance. So in that case, we have created a lot of problem. So now it is being substituted by unleaded petrol. So the unleaded petrol was containing ethanol and petrol was but benzene is found to be benzene was found to be more detrimental to human being because it is toxic. So concept of the ethanol gathered petrol, the ethanol based petrol. The benzene was a seltzer. So when the ethanol is being added, it is very difficult to prepare 100% pure ethanol. Because water is bonded to ethanol through a bond called hydrogen bond. So it is difficult for us to prepare 100% pure. But the presence of small amount of water in ethanol is not going to cause problem for the automobiles. Like the alcohol will never release the water in your well chemical. But in the process of combustion, if already petrol water is there in the ethanol, it may cause very faster process of rusting. That can be avoided by using superior quality of steel. So you need not get scared of it. But it's a very fine joke is there. When initially in our country, government wanted to introduce ethanol-based petrol, a survey was done. Then these people started asking the professional driver that if you are given a choice to use petrol and ethanol based petrol, which one will you prefer? See, things which you are using and comfortable, you do not have to go for a substitute. So most of them, they are saying that we will go for the normal petrol. The one driver from Chennai, he told, I will not do ethanol based petrol. The reporter asked him, what is the reason? He told, sir, when the driver is drunk, someone can control. If the car is drunk, then who is going to control? Okay? So don't get scared. If you are a petrol contains ethanol, unless you are not drunk, nothing will protect you.
Thank you so much, Suchita. In your usual light-hearted mood, you have been able to convey to our students that which they needed to know. And our school students, let me tell you all here that most of the teachers you are taught by today are students of Sir Nandi Majumdar. Most of your teachers, all right? And ladies and gentlemen and students, since we are running slightly behind the schedule, so instead of the promised tea break, we make it into a slightly longer lunch break, which will be of 20. Of course, ma'am, I was coming to that later. Louisa, Sanchita ma'am immediately protested that some students are Jayanti ma'am also. So ladies of Lady King, they are all students of Louisa, so they strongly protested that if Sujit sir is there, Louisa cannot be far behind. So I'll come back to what I was saying. We have stretched longer the promised tea break to make it into a lunch break of 20 minutes. Our school students, you all can leave from the back and go and have your tiffin and come back. And the participants, their escorting teachers will remain here. Lunch will be provided here, and of course our esteemed panel of judges will be escorted by our teachers. Thank you. So we'll be back in after 20 minutes.
Correct.
Hello. Hello. Students from the senior group, that is from the next group, we have just finished with the junior group. Those who have come late, kindly come forward and load your presentations, please. Kindly come forward to load your presentations. Please come forward. Participants from the higher secondary group, that is the senior group.
Sir, contact.
স্যার পোডিয়ামটা ইউজ করতে পারেনি তারা প্রেজেন্টেশন
Yeah, why not? साहिल से
नहीं होगा